It's been a while since I did a movie review, and since it's now Natemas, I decided, well, let's review one of my favorite Christmas movies, Nightmare Before Christmas. And yes, it's a Christmas movie. If Die Hard's a Christmas movie, Nightmare Before Christmas is a Christmas movie. Nightmare Before Christmas. Is it a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie? Well, it's both. Mostly a Christmas movie though. I'll tell you why. The main reason it is a Christmas movie. The plot of the story is Jack the Pumpkin King is going through major depression because he's tired of doing the same thing every year in and out. And when Jack finds Christmas, he finds like a new spark inside of him. And he's pretty much trying to learn how to celebrate it and learn about it and try to share it with everybody. It's less about the characters celebrating Halloween and more about them trying to have their own Christmas. And with Jack's lack of understanding Christmas, they don't exactly do a very good job at making Christmas happen. As part of the story, they kind of try to take over Christmas and get rid of Santa so Jack can be the new Santa. The plot can be a little crazy, but I freaking love it. There's also a beautiful love story with the second main character of the movie, Sally, and her plot is she's trying to gain her freedom from the crazy doctor dad that made her that's overly protective of her. And she is completely head over stitches in love with Jack. But Jack doesn't really notice, at least at first. She also worries about him a lot. And she has psychic powers that are mentioned and then never talked about ever again throughout the whole movie. But I digress. She is an awesome character and helps make the movie besides Jack and the main villains that I'm about to talk about. There is technically 4 antagonists of this movie. One big bad mother named the Oogie Boogie Man, and his little minion worshippers, Lock, Shock, and Barrel. And they kind of stab Jack in the back because Jack wanted them to kidnap Santa Claus and just keep him like locked up or something while Jack tries to be the new Santa. But instead, they decide to bring him to Oogie Boogie so Oogie Boogie can have his way with Santa. And yeah, Santa is in this, but he's more of a side character that gets kidnapped. He's pretty much a magical damsel in distress with a big white beard. Well, that's all the main characters, but there is a very lively cast of background and side characters that are pretty awesome. Like the mayor, who has different faces for different emotions that he has, and that, to me, is pretty awesomely creative. Also, there's a lot of other very creative background characters as well. Like we have the werewolf, we have the guy that has axe in his head that looks like maybe a serial killer or a psychopath. A little kid that looks like a zombie version of Pugsley from the Addams Family, and a little mummified kid. The 3 weirdly looking vampires, and the witches that have a giant crush on Jack for some reason. Like I swear, it's like they want his bony boner. Hell, even some of the zombies have a crush on him.
Nice work, Bone Daddy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Bone Daddy indeed. Just gonna walk away slowly now. Anywho, besides my terrible joke, this movie also has some of the best music ever put to film by the legendary Danny Elfman, who also is the voice of Jack when he sings, and he also helped create Jack Skellington. In fact, if you ever watched the show on Netflix, The Movies That Made Us, not sponsored by the way, I wish. Well anyway, the show, it kind of like shows you the behind the scenes of the creation of Nightmare Before Christmas and the ragtag team of misfits that helped Tim Burton bring his imagination to life. Most notably, Danny Elfman, of course, his girlfriend at the time, Caroline Thompson, and director Henry Selick, who also directed The Awesome Coraline and Monkey Bone. And yes, Tim Burton did not direct Nightmare Before Christmas. Henry Selick did. Burton did, though, create all of the characters, and the film's story was based off of Tim Burton's 1980 short poem that he created. And you know I did not forget about the amazing voice cast in this movie. We have Chris Sarandon, who plays Jack Skellington's talking voice, and he also plays Jack's ghost dog Zero. We also have Catherine O'Hara, who plays the talking voice of Sally. You may know her from Beetlejuice. Ken Page as Oogie Boogie, and he is a really awesome singer. You might know him from other musicals like Cats. Glenn Shaddix plays the mayor of multiple personalities, and you also might know him from Beetlejuice too.
Not so fast, brown boy. We're gonna have some laughs.
And we have Danny Elfman again, who besides composing the movie and being Jack's singing voice, he also plays two more characters. One of them is the clown with the tearaway face, who is freaking awesome by the way, and one of my favorite background characters. He also plays Beryl. Catherine O'Hara plays Shock, and none other than Mr. Pee Wee Herman himself, Paul Reubens, plays Locke. And that's, well, most of the voice cast. I'm not going to talk about every single voice actor in the movie because, well, there's a lot, so I just talked about the main ones that I know about. Overall, this movie has aged like fine, fine wine. It has really stood the test of time, and surprisingly, it was even very popular when it first came out. Yup, over time, it just grew and grew a massive fan base. Hell, the movie got so freaking big that when it's close to Halloween or Christmas, you can't go anywhere without running into Nightmare Before Christmas merch. In most stores, the movie even has its own sections. In fact, the movie's so crazy popular now that Disneyland and Disney World every Halloween and Christmas turn the Haunted Mansion and other things into, well, Nightmare Before Christmas land pretty much. With electronics and everything. It's freaking awesome, and I definitely want to go someday. Now it's hard to believe that this movie, everyone thought was a failure when it first came out in the 90s. And now, a lot of the creators, when they first found out how big it got, they just couldn't even believe it. I mean, I loved this movie as a kid. I remember renting it from the video store with my family. And when I first saw it, I just fell in love with the awesome visuals and the imagination of all of it. It's dark, it's witty, it's funny, it's freaking amazing. Hell, even rewatching it as an adult now, I'm still loving and enjoy it. There's a lot of things that I didn't notice before as a kid that I notice now, and a lot of kind of adult jokes. It's great. Like, I'm still gonna watch this every single Christmas and every single Halloween. Even if it's just on for the background, it's still a movie that I love dearly. And if you haven't seen it yet, and I'm actually going to be pretty surprised if you haven't because how big the movie is, definitely go watch it. I highly suggest this movie. I love it. And I think you will too. Until next time, love ya. Have a Merry Halloween and a Happy Christmas. This is your friendly neighborhood Nate, and I am out of here. Hello everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button and the like button and possibly press on the bell icon because YouTube doesn't like to tell you when I put up new videos. But if you just ignore me, I will get very angry. I'll find you and eat your brains.